before all of the above, let's go to the phone lines and get the views of James, who's a Chelsea fan. Hello, Jimmy. How are you?
Jimbo.
James?
Hello.
Hello, James.
Hi, James.
Right, mate. Hi, James.
How are you?
Right, love the show, guys.
Cheers, Jimbo.
Thank you, James. Off you go.
Yeah, I'm kind of disagreeing with what Jason said a minute ago about England being one of the most feared teams in the world.
Go on.
I know we've done well at the last two tournaments, but if you look at who we've beaten a Denmark team on a dodgy penalty. We've beaten Colombia on penalties at the previous World Cup. We beat a Germany team. It's not one of the best Germany teams in the last sort of 10, 15 years. What else?
Got to the final of the Euros, didn't we, James? That's not bad. We're a couple of kicks away from winning it. It's not bad, is it?
I just wonder whether that notion of being feared as a top international team, I don't think we've got that with Southgate in charge. Unless we start playing more attacking football, I don't think we're going to be feared like the rest of the teams around the world, like Brazil, Argentina, when it comes to a World Cup.
I find that conversation where you say who have we beaten so boring, and it's lazy, because the first thing you said, I thought, what's he going to say about Germany? And I knew what you were going to say. It's not the best German side. I think you need to give us a bit more credit, okay? Because it was always the conversation was always when we come up against one of the big heads, and Germany are a big head, how will we get on? And I think we are one of the most feared side. I think we have an incredibly deep squad. The thing that I said earlier at the top of the show is I think Gareth needs to be a bit braver. Not necessarily braver with his team selection from the first minute, but throughout the 90, I think he needs to be braver. But we have got quality all over it. We've got Champions League winners in this side now. The side hasn't even reached its potential yet. I think that over the next 3 or 4 years, and going into this World Cup, I think that we have got the depth in squad. You look at the Jude Bellingham, who's outstanding in that first half. I think we are, actually. I think the depth of squad. And you mentioned about Brazil and Argentina. I honestly think that they're.
When it comes down to it, Jason, I think these teams know that England have got they're a soft touch. You know, we didn't get over the line with the penalties. That was hard luck on the night. But Italy totally turned that game around.
Yeah, Italy were the best side of the tournament. Italy deserved to win it, right? They were the best side. There's no question. There's no question about that. They beat
a Belgian team on the way to the final. They beat a Spain team on the way to the final.
If they'd beaten Germany, you would not have turned around now and said they beat Germany, but actually it's not the same Germany, would you?
James, we can't hear you. Talking to the phone.
Is the Spanish side as strong as you've ever seen?
Not really, but they're a team with potential as well. I'm not saying Spain are the most feared.
James, let me ask you this: what does Gareth Southgate need to do for James, the Chelsea fan, to phone up and say, "I am convinced now"?
Do you know what? Probably win a tournament, and that's
so we're 2 penalties away from you changing your mind. Is that fair?
Yeah, and he got the decisions wrong on the penalties. I thought he put the wrong people up to take the penalties, and now he owned that decision, didn't he? So.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's perfect. I'm not saying Gareth Southgate's the perfect manager, but I think that we do.
I don't know if he did get the selections wrong. We're only saying that because they missed. But I would have bet on Marcus Rashford scoring.
Yeah, Rashford.
I would have bet on Jadon Sancho scoring.
Saka,
I'm not too sure about. Young kid, so much. Yeah. So much expectation on anyone taking a penalty to put that much pressure on a young kid. I'd question it, but still, I didn't look when they were walking up with the ball. I didn't think, oh, Rashford. I didn't think that. Did you?
No.
I'd back Rashford on a penalty in a Man United game when he's been playing for 80 minutes, 90 minutes, but not when he's come on for, just to kick a ball. Same with Sancho. I just thought it was ridiculous. And I know he could have brought him on a few minutes earlier if the ball had gone out, but still, come on, it's a final of the Euros at Wembley.
Listen, I hear that argument, but Harry Kane, best number 9, one of them in Europe. Right, Raheem Sterling in an England shirt. He's feared around the world. Let me tell you that. His pace scares the hell out of everyone.
His numbers
His numbers as well
are utterly ridiculous.
England's, I would say back 4 is one of the best back 4s in world football. When you put everyone together on their day, they were outstanding at the Euros. And then you've got so many options. Jack Grealish off the bench if you're not going to start him. You've got Sancho. You've got Bellingham. You've got you've got Phillips and Rice. This is an England side, James, that's getting better and better. I genuinely, this is the most excited I've been about an England side, I think possibly ever.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, guys, and I think, you put forward good arguments, but I just think that fear factor when it comes down to when we play the big guns, and Jason makes a good point about Germany. I accept his point about Germany, about we hadn't played a big gun for a while and beaten them at a tournament. So that's a good point. But I still think that these big countries, I still think they fancy England a little bit in the big tournaments. I think we need to.
I think they'd rather avoid us. I don't think they'll look at England and go, oh, yeah, we'll rub their hands together.
I don't now.
I think that we have shown that we can. And this isn't just the last tournament. Okay, you can talk about the UEFA Conference Cup, right? Whatever it was called. I think that was what it's called, right?
No, it wasn't.
What's it called? UEFA Nations League.
Nations League, yeah. Right? You just invented a new...
No, that's the one.
We won that one.
That's the one Spurs are in.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, so we do progress into the latter stage. Now, you can laugh and say it's just a Mickey Mouse tournament. Well, yeah, but I think that shows that we have the quality to go on and James is right. For him to convince anyone now, he's probably got to win it. But right now, I don't think he can do much more.
No.
He's done as much as he possibly can. And you made a point in the office. When Mopo took Spurs to the people realised, actually, he's done a brilliant job to get Spurs to the Champions League final, right? And he come up against a better side, Liverpool, and they beat him, right? That's what happened to us this year. We did come up a little bit more know-how, both on the pitch and in the manager. Right? The pair of them, I bow down to that.
Yeah.
The Gareth Southgate is not the finished article, but I see a massive improvement in what we looked like before he took over to where we are now.